Yes, sure.
You know, I wish I could have the best of both worlds. But I eat in moderation, and have a schedule. Just can't.
That is true. Well, you ready to do the Mandela effect?
Yep.
We are streaming live right now.
Okay.
We have, right now we're streaming, and everyone can hear you. We have a Facebook page up right now, so you can see the live, Facebook Live right now. This is what it looks like if you are watching this stream. And we should also have, this is where it's actually going to, is the Facebook Live, and we're going to repost it all over the place. When we're done with this Facebook live stream, we're going to put it on. We're going to put it on YouTube and other platforms so people can hear about this and see what's going on. Also, too, if you want to, right now, you can actually Skype us. Just Skype Sean Simons and call in. We actually have a way that you will be seen and heard on our show. And if you don't want to Skype and you just want to talk like Brian is right now, you can call my personal phone number, which is 501-650-8368. And right now we're going to be talking about the Mandela effect and flat Earth. I know people are like, flat Earth, Mandela effect, what is all this stuff? Well, Brian has actually told me about this, and Brian's is actually on the call right now. Brian, the world, Brian.
Hello, world.
So we hope that you can hear this all right. We're just doing it off my cell phone, so hopefully you'll be able to hear it. But the Mandela effect is pretty much a group of people remembered Mandela dying back in the 80s in prison. And this group of people are like, he died in prison, but we just found out that in 2013 he died again. So what is it? Did he die in the 80s in prison, or did he die in 2013?
Right.
That's what this Mandela effect is. A lot of people are remembering one thing. And Brian, I got something too. Once we go to the flat Earth theory, I'm going to blow your mind on this flat Earth theory. And actually, this actually will slide from the Mandela effect over to flat Earth, and it'll blow your mind. It's absolutely crazy. I even got
Do they connect?
They actually connect.
Wow.
I didn't even realize this, but they actually connect. So this is going to be pretty interesting. So the Mandela effect is like, you know, a group of people remember something. However, when we actually go to the archives are showing us something different. Now, what is going on here? Either millions of people are remembering something incorrectly, or something is either changing. It's either changing our archives. I don't know how you change the internet because it's everywhere, right? And how do you change all the books? And how do you change people's memories? I don't know. Are we living in some sort of matrix that this is really not real? Which also goes back to the flat Earth theory. Are we living like under the dome? Have you watched that show, Brian, Under the Dome?
I have seen episodes of it, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, are we really like living under the dome where we think this is the whole world or not? Because here's something really interesting. If you look out there as in space, all the Earths, the same type of Earths that they have found out in space are orbiting suns that make our sun look like a marble. You know, I mean, these suns are so massive, you can put millions of our suns into it. And the planets that go around it are about the size of our sun. So on that note, if you think about it, you could have a whole planet, you know, a flat Earth planet, under the dome on one of these Earths that are just massive, the size of a sun, and we would know the difference, or would we? I don't know. That's what this is all about, the Mandela effect. It's really weird. Some of the weird things that I have discovered, and a lot of people have discovered and talked about a lot, is words that change in movies. We remember it one way, however, you look back on the archive or watch the movie again, and the words are different. What are some of the ones that you remember? Luke, I am your father, right? Brian? You remember that, right? Luke, I'm your father?
Yeah.
But really it's, no, I am your father. Because I guess they're having a dialogue. Okay, I can sort of see maybe, the dialogue, no, I'm your father. But, if back in the 80s or whatever when this came out, or 70s when this came out, you said, I'm your father. People would be like, what the hell are you talking about? I mean, Luke, I'm your father. It's like trying to put in a name, saying Luke, maybe that was a way of saying the quote where people could actually, get you. It's like, hey, bro, I'm your father. What? What do you mean you're my father? What are you talking about? You're my father. So you had to say, Luke, I'm your father, to get the reference. Okay. Maybe, right? Okay. But the next thing in Star Wars is C-3PO. Have you ever seen C-3PO with a silver leg?
No, but I do remember the story in the second movie, or should I say the fifth movie, or episode 5, where he gets disassembled in that junkie and gets put back together. And I can't recall whether he got a silver leg or not in that scenario. But interesting comment that I read on one of these Mandela effect videos that a gentleman remembers. He said that there was the C-3PO, there was a silver leg one based on that particular part of the story.
Right.
And he wanted one as a collector's item as a child, but his mom said, no, you've got a perfectly good C-3PO, which was the gold, all gold. And so apparently, it's almost like, Wall-E from Disney. There's a beat-up version of them, and then there's like a cleaned-up version of them. They sell both toys to represent different parts of the story. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like Cars. Mater, the tow truck guy. There's the rusty beat-up version of them, and there's the painted version of them. So I think that is a distinct possibility. I'll have to rewatch episode 5 and see if there was ever a silver leg involved that represents that scenario.
Well, they say that he's always had the silver leg, even back from the very beginning, back in the 70s when they first came out.
Now, I can't believe that. I mean, at first I was an extreme Mandela effect believer, and then I've become a skeptic. But as a skeptic, there are just some things that I'm just having a very hard time accepting, and I have a very hard time accepting that.
Yes. Well, that's the whole reason why we're doing this, though. We want to see if this is real or not. That's the whole reason why, we're doing this particular show. We're having people call in. We're doing an actual investigation. Are we just all remembering something wrong? Maybe in the movies, because I rewatched it too, and it's like there's not a lot of times that they show the whole C-3PO. They do usually, from stomach up. So maybe that's another reason you don't get to see it a lot. But then I see a clip to where he was in the Ewok floating, and it showed his silver leg plain as day, and I don't remember it being silver there.
Well, just like when they crash in that escape pod at the beginning of the episode 4, the first movie, I distinctly remember him being a bright, shiny, fully gold robot walking around in the desert.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind. Matter of fact, I'm the type of person that notices details like that. It's almost one of those things where, what's the story behind this character and a silver leg? Everybody is fascinated by a disjointed element of a character. Like, okay, here's a great example of that. I'm a big fan of the PlayStation game, The Last of Us.
Right.
And one of the main characters, the young female Ellie, has a big scar on her eyebrow. They never, in anywhere in the story, explain where she got that scar. But in every post I see, everybody's asking, where did she get that scar? Are they going to tell a story where she got that scar?
Yeah.
So when people see a disconjointed element to a character that they really love, they want backstory on that weird fascination. So it's something as big as Star Wars. I'm really surprised that there's not offshoot stories of why C-3PO has a silver leg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody remembers C-3PO as a solid gold machine.
I know. And just like everyone knows that if you build it, they will come, right?
Yeah. Now, see, this is where it becomes a mixed bag. I've thought really hard about this Field of Dreams quote.
Yeah.
And these movie quotes. And as a skeptic, one of the things I'd like to offer that I've been sitting here thinking about this is that I think we often hear media from different sources and different movies and talk shows and stuff like that will, like you said, they will re-quote and misquote movie lines.
Right.
And we may watch, in our lifetime, how many times have we seen a particular movie? Okay, Field of Dreams, I may have seen that movie maybe 3 or 4 times in my life, right? But I've probably heard that line re-quoted and probably misquoted 100 times from different movies like Wayne's World, you know.
All sorts of parodies and things, right.
Correct. Parodies, Family Guy, all these other things where you hear it 100 different ways, 100 different times. And the thing is, you hear it 100 times from a different source, and you only hear it 3 or 4 times from the actual movie. So, you know, you can't really trust what you remember from the movie.
That's
and
true.
Actually, Field of Dreams, He Will Come is, you know, people are like, it doesn't make any sense because the movie's about they. Actually, no.
It's about his father, right.
It's about James Earl Jones and him needing to build that field to make James Earl Jones' dream of being a baseball player come true. It was to draw him. It was never about the crowds. That's an added bonus in the movie. So they doesn't make sense. What I think happened is that a lot of people have changed that line because they fits the narrative of what the other people were using the line for. He doesn't make sense for what they were using.
That's true.
But people, as creatures, you know, of faulty memory, you know, we're very busy in our lives, and we're not going to notice a little detail like that, or, you know, there's not going to be that big of a fuss about it, you know what I mean?
Well, how about Mirror, Mirror on the Wall?
Well, actually, the very oldest collections of that story, like in books and stuff before the Disney movie,
right,
actually do say Mirror, Mirror, I believe. I can't remember what they call it now, the Something's Tale or something, the original story that created that story for Disney. I'm sorry for not having the details right on me. But yeah, there are some versions that I think are Mirror, Mirror. But even still, you know, I don't know. As you know, I was never big into the Disney movies. I have seen almost all of them, but I wasn't obsessed because a lot of those are, you know, princess-driven type things with musicals, and I was never into that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm sure I've heard the misquotes way more than I've ever heard it from the actual movie.
And things.
But it does make.
I'm sorry.
But it makes you wonder why. Why would they change that element? You know, magic mirror on the wall. You know, I mean, that honestly, if you say it enough, that works just as well as Mirror, Mirror. You know, so it makes me wonder why would people change it? Because even if it is in some old tale from long ago, that's not where people know it from.
Right.
People know it from the Disney movie. That's where it became popular. That's where people know it
But
from.
the Disney movie actually says Mirror, Mirror, or it doesn't say Mirror, Mirror, it says Magic Mirror on the Disneys, which is very interesting because I don't remember the actual story except for Disney. And, well, here's another one. Hello, Clarice. You know that one, right? Everyone knows that, right? But when you go back and look, that has been completely wiped out from the movie. You don't hear it anywhere in the movie. So either we remembered it wrong, or they wiped it out.
I watched Silence of the Lambs about a year ago, before I even knew about Mandela effect. And I actually and I remember this now, I distinctly remember anticipating that line, and I remember hearing it. And all you have is my word that I'm saying that, and that's the truth. And that's the problem with the Mandela effect, is that all we have is our word. Because if something in time and space has changed, physically changed, and manifests differently,
right,
then all we have is our word.
Right.
You know what I mean? And which makes it very frustrating. I'm a believer and a skeptic at the same time, but the reason I hold on partially to the belief is because this is a very profound problem. The implications that if this Mandela effect is true are very far-reaching and very dangerous. And what it proves in science is that they can change physical reality, but they cannot change our experiences in a timeline that we've already experienced. So that's something in sci-fi. If you ever watch sci-fi, the sci-fi rule is if you change history, everybody remembers the change, not the original. That's what commonly believed. However, if they are changing
but what we're
things,
saying is that
working.
we're actually colliding universes, or we're sliding in and out of different universes. We're not in the same universe. So it's very possible that this universe that we're talking in right now, C3PO, always had a silver leg. However, we sort of popped in, to this universe. And how do we pop in? One of the crazy theories that people are having is that, have you heard about these ocular migraines that people are having?
Well, I know I've had one, and I know you have them frequently, but but I don't know all the details now.
A lot of people are having these ocular migraines. And if you haven't had an ocular migraine, what happens is you start going blind a little bit. You see these zigzagging, flashing lights, and then it just goes like this, and eventually in 20 to 30 minutes it goes outside your field of vision, and you have pretty much a headache where you feel weird. During this time you can talk wrong, you can't remember, and you just feel really awkward the rest of the day. People are saying that when you're having these ocular migraines, you're actually going through a bubble or something that's actually taking you to this other universe. So it's very possible a lot of people are starting to feel the effects, and they're telling what's going on, and now we're calling it ocular migraines. Because in my universe that I remember, there were 4 people in the car when JFK was killed. In this universe I'm in, there's 6.
Well, yeah, that one really bothers me too. Now, I'll be honest with you, it's been a while since I've seen that with my own eyes. And, well, I got several things to say, but I'll try to say them quickly. The first thing that gets me on that is I don't remember a second person being shot. And there's a senator or a governor or something, I can't even remember.
The governor,
but
right.
There was a second person that was shot and survived, and I don't remember that element at all. And I actually grew up going to school in the Fort Worth area, and that was a pretty big thing to learn. Now, of course, I don't lean very heavily on my childhood memories, but that's something I think that I would have remembered when I very first got into conspiracy theories back in 2007, I think, and started listening to Coast to Coast AM and all that. One of the first things I got into was the JFK thing.
Right.
And for years and years and years, they talked about only that element, that Kennedy got shot. They didn't talk about anybody else getting shot. And I have listened to hours, countless hours of this JFK thing, and I never remember anything about a second person being shot. When I look at the imagery in the video, it's too colorful. I don't remember people in the middle wearing brightly colored clothes. Everybody had dark colored clothes from my memory.
Right.
And I distinctly remember in a 4-seater car, the Secret Service guy or the guy sitting in the passenger seat lean over and try to huddle over Kennedy and protect Kennedy. Now, what Mrs. Kennedy did, I distinctly remember she did that. She did some weird thing where she tried to climb over the back of the car.
Right.
And I do remember that. But I distinctly remember a man in a black suit in the passenger seat get up, turn around, and try to use his body to cover up Kennedy.
That's what I thought,
100% remember that. And in this timeline, or whatever it is, no one hunches over him because the guy in front of him got shot.
Got shot, right.
So this is totally like, it totally weirds me out because I have this, it's seared into my mind as a solid memory. And I understand the brain games and, you know, but there's just, you know, and the way our memory can be faulty, but there's just certain things you can't take out. And here's the thing. The best way to test people, and I encourage people to do this, seek out as many people as you can find that have not heard of the Mandela effect and ask them these questions without the pretense of Mandela effect, without explaining to them what it is or why you're asking the question. Ask the question in the raw. I asked over 24 people so far,
right,
including my wife, who I explicitly trust, all of the same questions. Mirror, mirror on the wall. How many people are in the Kennedy car? What color is C-3PO? What is the line of Star Wars? I have repeatedly, over a dozen people asked these series of Mandela effect questions. And everybody universally gives me the exact same answer and vividly remembers and adamantly defends these things as they are, because when I start challenging them, like, nope, that's not what it is, they're like, well, what do you mean? What else could it be?
Right.
You know, life is like a box of chocolates, blah, 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 you know. So if you really want to test this thing out, then do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is, once, I notice this, that once you experience what you believe, right, okay, when you're asked in the raw without any pretense, you know for a fact what you recall.
Right.
That is, and it's a solid, it's like when you first wake up from a dream, the very first few seconds that you wake up from a dream, it's very fresh, you know for certain what's in that dream. But 20 minutes from now, after your day gets started, you almost start losing the dream, you can't remember it. Same thing happens with Mandela effect facts. Once someone introduces you to what it's supposed to be now, it starts to mix up in your mind, and then you start doubting, well, was it that, or could, you know what I mean?
Well,
That's how you become a skeptic.
Well, you know that
So
every time that you access your memory changes chemically.
Right.
How about Sex in the City? Is it Sex in the City or Sex and the City?
That one never bothered me that bad. I could have gone either way. Just like Interview with the Vampire sounds better to me than A Vampire, even though A Vampire makes more sense. Or whatever. My wife is a huge Anne Rice book fan, and she's like, "What the hell are you talking about? The Vampire? That doesn't make any sense. It's always been A Vampire. That's how it was in books. You can't change my mind. Blah blah blah." She gets upset about it, you know.
And then you show her, and it's like, what the heck? How about the Bearstein or the Bearstain bears?
I was never a Bernstein fan, but I pretty much, Bernstein doesn't make any sense to me, but I can't go either way on that one.
How about Curious George? Did he have a tail?
It wouldn't make sense for a monkey not to have a tail, but you know.
And that could be the reason why too that people are seeing that one. It's like, Curious George is a monkey. All monkeys have tails. Why would you think that there's a monkey without a tail?
Right.
So that one can go both ways too.
Yeah. So here's one. All the grammatical errors that people are finding, like how you spell Chick-fil-A.
Right.
I'll tell you this. My wife, her profession and what she does every day for a job is that she grammatically corrects publications for a scientific journal. She has to be extremely accurate.
Right.
Her whole life revolves around correct spelling. And even in the smallest things like texts, she's very accurate. She's very adamant about correct spelling, and she doesn't miss a beat when it comes to that. I mean, that is her degree profession.
Right.
And she's very serious about it. She was so convinced that Chick-fil-A is spelled incorrectly on purpose by the company that she was so upset when I told her, no, it's actually spelled chick, like the way you're supposed to spell it. She goes, no, it's spelled incorrectly, fun, on purpose. And she says, I know for a fact she went on Facebook and she recalled a memory where we had went to Chick-fil-A on one of their fun nights.
Right.
And we all dressed up like a cow to get free food and all that kind of stuff. And in her Facebook post, she writes on there, "Family fun at Chick-fil-A," and she spelled it incorrectly the way she knows how to spell the company's Chick-fil-A name.
CHIC, right?
And right, CHIC or yeah, right. And because she knew all in her whole life, it's always been spelled wrong because she notices that. It's her job to notice those types of things.
Right.
And she said it always annoyed her about Chick-fil-A that they didn't spell right. It annoyed her because she doesn't like companies.
Guess who I talked with? Guess who I talked with and found out what it's really how it's really spelled?
How?
I talked with Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess how you spell it correctly? That he's known it for his entire life.
How's that?
CHICK. Even on his tattoo.
Wow. Isn't that wild? And he's worked there, for how many years? I mean...
Right. So, forever almost. So, he knows for a fact what it is.
Right.
Interesting. How about the lion lays with the lambs?
I've always remembered lion. I've never, in Scripture, remember a wolf.
Okay.
Although wolf and sheep is a very strong parody. I mean, it makes
right.
Wolves prey on sheep, not lions. But I'm suppose lions do too. But
if somebody quoted it incorrectly, the lions lay with the lambs. If you don't read the Bible, you will just pick up these people's quotes that they're saying. However, if you look at the actual Isaiah 11:6, it says the wolf will live with the lamb. It has nothing about laying down with them.
See, I remember lie. The wolf or the lion lies with the sheep.
With the sheep or the lambs?
Lamb. See, there you go. Memory recall sucks. But more to the point, more than words is the thousands upon thousands of paintings in renditions of that, which is a lion and a lamb laying down next to each other.
Right. I totally agree.
And wolf, although wolf makes sense in American context, because we have wolves in this country a lot. I mean, I'm sure we have wolves in other places, but in biblical times, in the African and Middle East regions, the predator that was spoke of and was talked about, like in Daniel and the lion's den, and all that, it was the lion. It was lions. It was predator cats. So when they reference things like that, the lion was the predator.
Right.
Just like the lions, the honey and the locusts and the lion's carcass. Everything that was the predator to talk about. You know what I mean? So I distinctly remember, and all the pictures and everything, it was a lion and a lamb laying together. That was the imagery of the paintings. That was the saying of the Bible. I grew up in church. I mean, that's
right.
what I know. You know what I mean? I don't remember anything about a wolf. Not to say it wasn't there. I'm not like some Bible scholar, but But here's what fascinates me about all this. We can go back and forth on grammaticals and movie minds, and we could either be a believer or skeptic.
Right.
But the ones that really get me, I must be from this universe on this, because people are remembering different continent placements. And
I'm glad you just said that. I just pulled up Google Earth, and I just pulled up Australia. And you need to watch this later on. I'll post it so you can actually see this, because I know that you're driving right now. But right now, I'm going to show you on here. Let me change this. I'm going to show you this on here. This is Google.
I'm actually home. Do you want me to?
Oh, just go to Facebook's page, Mandela Effect, and it has a big live on it. And it's streaming live, so you should see this. So here's Google Earth with Australia down at the bottom. Tell me when you get there.
Okay. All right. Stand by.
All right. So what I'm going to do while you're checking that out, let's go ahead and talk real quick about in 1954. In 1954, some white Caucasian went to Japan, and his passport, driver's license, checkbook all said that he was from the nation of Tured, T-A-U-R-E-D. So he had driver's license, passport, checkbook. Checkbook. There's banks in Tured. So he was very upset when Japan said that, when he went through customs, said, no, there is no Tured in the world. He goes, yes, there is. Look, I'm from here. Here's my passport. So, actually, there is no Tured, and the Japanese, I guess they put him up in a hotel because he's like, you know, you can't just walk around because you're from Tured. And the next day, he was gone. He vanished. So, where is Tured? Did he come in from another universe, or what? Are you on? I think I see you popped up on Facebook.
Hold on.
So anyways,
Okay,
that's.
so what do I do?
Do you see the live streaming on the page?
No, where do I go?
Are you on Facebook? Are you on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook. Yeah,
All right.
I'm on Facebook.
Look for Mandela effect on Facebook. It's an actual page on Facebook.
So just search it?
Yeah, search it. And the what do you call it? Hold on a second. Let me pull it up so I can see what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
It says
Effect, community, John Simons, 21 others. Yeah.
it says Facebook Mandela effect.
Yeah.
You see it?
I see you now.
Okay. Go ahead and say hi in the comments so I can see you. Okay. So anyway, let me go ahead and put this back down here. Yo. All right. So I'm going to pull this back down. All right. Here is Google Earth. You see that big continent down below there? That's Australia. And as we turn the globe this way, next to Australia, lots and lots and lots of water, right?
Yeah.
Nothing else. Do you remember when we were younger and we looked on the globe? There was a big landmass right here. A lot of people remember that landmass. Matter of fact, they remember it so well, they even looked in old movies to see if they could find it. You want to see something cool? Dazed and Confused? Yep, Dazed and Confused. Boom. There's the picture of the globe. There's the big landmass that everyone remembers. We go back to Google Earth, and there's nothing there. It's just Australia. Nothing else.
Wow.
And there it is.
Now, the arrangements of the look, the landmass, it's kind of blurry, but the landmass above Australia looks a little bit different too, but it's too blurry to really tell.
Yeah, here's the landmass, but it's green here.
Yeah.
On Google Earth,
well,
but it's brown here, which of course it'd be brown on the globe back from, you know, the 80s.
Well, yeah. Well, some people said they remember everything north of Australia being quite a bit further apart, not only 5 miles from New Guinea or whatever that is. They remember the landmass being considerably further away from Australia north, you know. But that's another, that and Japan having different continental arrangements.
Well, see, I lived in Japan, so I know what it looks like. I mean, I lived there. I mean, for 3 years.
Everything was good to you on that?
Well, let me zoom in.
I didn't realize Japan was so far north. I thought it was a little bit further south. But then again, I'm not a geographical expert, so I hesitate to defend my recollection of things like continental arrangement, just because thanks to a poor education system and fluoride, who knows.
Yep. So I mean, I've lived there and I traveled there. I've been to everywhere from the southern tip down there in Kyushu all the way up to Tokyo, even up in Hokkaido. What?
People that remember certain things like the Mandela incident, people remember very detailed and touching eulogies, like from his wife and stuff, from back in the 80s, and the Tiananmen Square guy, getting run over and it changed the face of communism because people didn't want to put up with it.
Now see, that I know for sure he did not get run over. I mean, he did not get run over by a reindeer. Yeah, New Zealand is the closest thing to Australia, and unless this is spinning the other way, or it was backwards, the only thing that could be right there, this landmass, is New Zealand, but it's over on that side. I wonder if this is like a reverse image. So maybe this is really not, that's a reverse image, and that's New Zealand, and somebody just got a reversed image of the globe. We need to actually look at that, and
Here, go back to them and that.
What, Google Map? Google Earth? Hold on a second. Okay.
I don't know. The best thing to do, I think, I don't know if I have dates in computer or not, or if it's on Netflix. We ought to watch the movie.
Yeah, and check that out, because, see, the only thing that could possibly be is if it's a reversed image as it's going, and then you see New Zealand over here, but that's really southern. I mean, that's down, really south. So let's look at this again. And that's really off to, I mean, that really is off to the side. I mean, that's really off to the side. So
that's not a reverse image because the rest of the continent, India and all that, is in the correct place.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not a reversed image.
So no, it isn't a reversed image, but wow. Very, very interesting. And look, when we turn the globe from here and we turn it, I don't remember half the world being water. In any globe that I've ever seen, I've never seen a globe that was just half water.
Right.
So what is going on, right? Well, anyways, this goes back to the flat Earth and hollow Earth. If you actually look on Google Earth and you go up to the very top and you zoom in, you can actually see the hollowed Earth. Hold on a second. Let me actually show you this on here, which is pretty interesting. Let me go ahead and zoom in. And when you zoom in, where is it? When you zoom in, you can actually see, can you see that? You can actually see it right there. See how it's it looks like it's hollowed out?
Right.
But is that actually because it's hollowed, or is that just because of the way satellites are zooming in. And there's a bunch of things that people have... What is that? Inside... What? Inside the dome at the South Pole. What? Look at that. Iceberg. I didn't even notice this the last time I looked up here, but there's a lot of points up here. Old South Pole Dome. Look, there's pictures of the South Pole and domes and everything. This wasn't here before. Research. They got pictures of the different research things up there, and this wasn't here before, because I looked up here when they started talking about the hollow earth, but there's all sorts of pictures of different domes up there. I heard an echo.
Yeah, I clicked on your movie by accident. Now it's playing the audio. Because there's a lag.
Oh.
Let me turn my volume down. Hold on.
Well, anyway, enough of that. That was, well, I mean, that is interesting, but, you know, it goes from the Mandela effect to flat Earth. It goes to hollow Earth, and it all's about, you know, and it could be it could be time travel. People are talking about the double slit experiment, and CERN. You know, are we forgetting it because of we're humans? Is it the CERN supercomputer? Is it the quantum computers that are going on? So, lots of weird things. So, I guess the question is, you know, what is really going on?
You know, one thing that I have learned that I find interesting is, you know, talking about space, whether, you know, we're looking at a projection, or are we, you know, just looking at what we're looking at. But every time that you see real images, a Hubble telescope or a satellite, it's always a pixelated piece of crap that doesn't look like anything. It looks like crap.
Right.
You know, but then all the profound images that you see are artist renditions. So it makes me wonder, you know, is there an elaborate ruse or an illusion coordinated by a lot of people to, you know, pull the wool over our eyes about what we're seeing in space, quote unquote, you know?
Right.
Or, you know what I mean? Or, because how is it that we have, you know, everybody always says the government has, and NASA has technology, you know, 50 years more advanced than us, and our technology, I mean, this super high resolution technology, you know, but we can't send a camera into space and take something that looks like something tangible that you can see.
I know.
You know, why can't it look like the Earth or something, like, you know what I mean? There are actually very, very few pictures of our own planet that are not some kind of, like, from far away, that are not some rendition or some kind of artist drawing, you know?
That's true. And just like a lot of people say, too, is have all these people up there that are doing these maneuvers on the shuttle. Not one has panned from the Earth over to the moon. None.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
I have to share it with you. But someone had posted a picture of, it was, I think it was the president or someone touring the NASA headquarters.
Yeah.
Like the Situation Room or whatever.
Right.
And you know how they have those gigantic screens in there?
Right.
Well, as they walk by, they have one of the astronauts in front of a blue screen.
What?
And then he was doing the exact same motions that we see with a space station behind him.
Right.
But in that, it was like an oops moment, you know. He was totally in front of a blue screen. It was just him and a blue screen.
What? Now, where is this? Where can you find this particular video?
I have to find it. I'll have to look for it. It just came to my mind because we were talking about space. but yeah, totally blew my mind.
I know that they have a lot of like bubbles out in space where you can tell that they're underneath water because there's a bubble that goes up and over. And then there's other ones that you can tell they're on a blue screen or green screen because when they turn the corner, they disappear. I mean, they fade out before they turn the corner and disappear.
Right.
So, you know, I wonder. Yeah, you just have to wonder. It's like there's so many inconsistencies. You wonder why NASA just doesn't go, all right, we're going to do a documentary showing you what this really is going on, how this works, and why you see bubbles in some of this stuff, and why you see people disappearing. Obviously, it's because this is not the real space station, and this is somebody's faking it. I mean, give us some real, ideas of what's going on here other than you're lying to us. And while you're up in space, take a picture, high definition, with your cell phone. Do a video. I mean, my iPhone 6 can shoot 4K. Take out a 4K video camera, do some 4K video, and let us see what's going on up there. I want to see the moon. I want to see the stars. I want to see the Earth. Easy peasy. You should be able to do that. Moon, stars, there's the Earth. With your cell phone. I mean, why would you not do that? Why could you not do that? I don't know.
Dude, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get it either. But the skeptical side of me says, I think I found it. It was George Bush. Let me share it.
George Bush?
George Bush Sr. getting a tour. Hold on. My computer came on laggy here. They don't want me to show you things.
Of course. And what I can do is I'll put it on the screen over here once you send it to me. That way I got a copy too. Go ahead and text it to me. Text me the link.
I'm not doing it from I found it on my computer.
Oh. How are you going to send it to me?
I shared it with you on Facebook. I tagged you.
Oh, you tagged me?
Tagged you on Facebook.
On,
I just shared the video and I tagged your name.
Okay. On the Mandela Effect page?
No, on your personal.
Oh, do it on the Mandela Effect page. Do it as a comment on the Mandela page for me, and I'll share it here.
I need a like to pay. I don't think I can like to pay. Like the page.
Okay, I see it.
Can I share it to this page? Is that correct?
You should be able to.
Let me give it a shot. Share it.
Oh, I see. You're trying to share it. Okay, it's not from the actual like YouTube. You're just trying to share it on.
Yeah, it's on total Facebook. I don't know how to share this on Facebook. To Mandela page.
Let me see if I can copy the link. Copy link address and see if I can do that real quick.
I mean, yeah, it's so crazy.
No, I can't seem to be able to do that either.
Okay.
Well, I guess if you find it on YouTube.
Well, just I think your live feed. Where's your live feed?
It's still should be live feeding.
All I see is your marker board.
Oh.
Yeah, there you are. Just point it back to the computer screen and play that video. That way, you'll show people that. I don't know how to share it to a page, but yeah, I have that function happening. Pages are usually more protected than sharing.
All right, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. All right, hold on 1 second. All right, so there it is. Along with fake shooting, victim and traitor, whatever.
Here, make the image big. Make the video big on your.
Oh.
See it better.
There we go. The cameraman.
Look behind you. Like a sophisticated blue screen.
I've seen that before too. Matter of fact, I saw that blue screen with the checkers because one of the things that I like to do is the 3D rendering, and you need a checkered blue background like that to show, you know, weightlessness.
And look, he's demonstrating zero gravity. So
Yes.
it's not some bullshit. He's actually pretending to be on the space station in that shot.
Right. And that's how you do something like that to show, you know, 3D effects and floating. You show that you have to have that grid. So that right there is a perfect grid of how you would have to do that. Well, that's
Isn't that wild?
wow.
And you know what got me thinking? Okay, it got popular. I don't know how many years ago, but the fake moon landing, and one of the images, the video that I have always seen that I call total BS on is, have you ever seen that black and white grainy resolution video of the out in space from like I don't know if it was a satellite or Hubble or the space station, but you're looking out and it's like, and there's all these flashing objects everywhere, and it's these little dots and stuff floating around. It's a real famous video of UFOs in space. But when I look at that, and if I can find it, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
But what I always find BS about it is that it looks like, without color, it looks like really deep ocean. Like, you know how they have all the weird critters that blink and light?
Right.
Different lights. It looks like the way everything's moving around, it doesn't look like space. It looks like underwater, like deep ocean, like where the weird critters are and they light up and stuff.
That's what a lot of people are saying, that they're just doing this. It's all underwater, and I hate to think that my government is letting me believe that we've done something that we didn't. I mean, I really don't want to believe that. I want to believe that we really went to space and there's a logical explanation for what's going on here with this Mandela effect and people saying that we never made it to the moon. I don't want to believe it. I want to believe that we really did. But a lot of the evidence is, you know, well, a lot of the Facebook evidence, a lot of the YouTube evidence. However, you don't see all this stuff in other than YouTube and Facebook. I mean, where else have you seen it?
Right.
So I don't.
And here's the thing, you know, here's the skeptic side of me is, you know, what kind of undertaking would it be to have that many people coordinate an effort to delude the American people. You know what I mean?
Right. You still there?
Yeah. I don't know, man. And you know, what do we even know about? I've actually never been to NASA. I think I remember going to like a little field trip, something near NASA, and like you get to see the lobby and the space shuttle, and
Right.
do little things as a kid. You know, the only imagery I have of NASA are the Hollywood movies. You know,
Right.
You know, all these like Tommy Lee Jones and the asteroid movies where people are trying to blow up the asteroid to save the Earth.
Right.
And then the most recent one, The Martian, which, let me tell you,
That was a good movie.
Like The Martian.
That was a good flick.
Right, great movies. But the movies like The Martian and movies like the Sandra Bullock one in space, if they can make that look like that well, think about this.
Gravity, right.
Gravity. Take those movies, right?
Right.
Now you have the capability of shooting these shots that's very convincing. Now, lower your resolution of your camera to make it look like live streaming, like a NASA camera, which with crappy quality, and change the language from dramatic theatrical language to, you know, boring NASA, Roger, go, you know, and all that kind of stuff, to where it sounds official.
Right.
You have all the elements to make things look like you're in outer space.
Yeah.
Because Hollywood has done it. It looks as real as it can look to me. There's nothing. Hollywood is getting so good that things don't look fake like they used to before. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I could see the computer animation. Like, I watched the original Independence Day yesterday. You know, and I'm like, oh, it was a great, you know, they did a good job, and there were some really neat things, but I could tell it was fake as fake it can be, you know? But nowadays, you're looking at, you know, you got really great TVs, everything's crystal clear, and I'm like, I can't tell where the computer animation begins and they end, you know?
Well, look at some of these movies that, you know, majority of things are animated. I mean, look at Avatar, that's from years ago. That looked real. I mean, and that was from years ago.
Right.
Oh, and they're coming out with a new Avatar.
That's pretty awesome.
That'll be pretty cool.
Now, if they just come out with a new They Live, I'll be very excited.
Oh my God, I know. I would love to see that. All brand new. Well, Brian, we did really good today. I don't think that, but a couple of people popped in here and there to watch this. But we will put this on YouTube, and we will put this on different places where you can actually watch it again, even though this is streaming live. We had the opportunity of people calling in like you did at 501-650-8368, which of course you can call me, you know, while we're doing this. However, if you don't know me and you're not my friend, you're more than welcome to text me at any other time on this number. Just don't call me, because you never know what I'm doing and work and stuff. But you're more than welcome to text me about this. You can Skype me during these calls also, and during this live stuff you can actually Facebook live comments. I should be able to see your comments, which I saw yours saying yo, so that was pretty cool. But you know, you can Facebook comment, so you can be more discreet if you want to. So, Brian, thank you for what's that?
I just want to say to end this, you know, take this thing at a distance. You know, it is very important if there's any legitimacy to it being real. It's very important to pay attention, but you know, take it with a grain of salt as well. Be skeptical. You know, every good conspiracy theory needs a great deal of skepticism to push against it, to make sure you get the facts. So don't get wrapped up and scared because it's happening. I think too many people are jumping on it's real before really considering all possibilities. This is all I wanted to say.
Well, I appreciate you actually calling in. Maybe we can get you know, more people on this next time, and more people can call in and more people can watch at least this right here, because I'll upload this to YouTube when we're done here. And you know, give us a, you know, put some comments down. Let us know what you think about the Mandela effect. What do you think about, you know, the flat Earth theory? I mean, you don't have to call in. Leave comments, and we'll talk about the next time that we do this. And I do want to do this again. I really had a good time talking with you. I mean, I can't believe that we talked for over an hour already. Well, actually,
I know, right?
actually, yeah, I can, because we usually talk about this. We'll have to talk about the Body of a God diet book that we're writing also. That'll be pretty fun. We'll have to do that on live stream next time.
Sounds good.
Sounds bueno. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the flip side. I guess that's another parallel universe. That's another parallel universe, the flip side.
They didn't say that in my universe. It's on the side of flipping.
Oh, okay. Wrong universe.